So how long have you actually been here? How long have you owned the place?
I bought it in June 2018.
2018, okay.
So just coming 3 years.
And had you had any, since you had the activity, that was in October, wasn't it, last year? That's when the news report,
it's always been here. Even the previous owner who I sold it to, and she owned the business for 20 years, and she's the one that started the business in Invercargill. I was warned that
really?
Him upstairs would make his presence known. And I think because we start quite early in the morning, sometimes I can be here 4:30 in the morning, because we bake everything fresh on site every day. There's things that you hear or you feel, or I've only seen a couple of things, but you just know, like, because when I'm cooking, my back is to the door, and you just get this overwhelming sense of wanting to turn around, because you know that someone's there, or that you hear a noise, you think, can't quite place what that noise should be, because I'm the only one here. All the doors are locked, you can't get in, but when I hear change getting jingled in pockets and stuff, and then I can smell cigarette smoke, but we're a no smoking premise. Or I get, one time I was in there, it was really rainy, crappy day outside, and I had locked and double locked the doors, because it's always when it's quite moody. I find when the weather's really bad, which, okay, granted, happens quite a bit in Invercargill, but I had locked and then double locked the doors, and I was just doing my baking, setting myself up for the day, and I heard what I thought was the front door open, and I looked and thought, odd, and then I could hear heel toe click on the heels on the floor, and I thought, gosh, maybe the barista's early. I thought, God, Amber's early. So I waited for her to walk past the door and say hello, but she didn't say anything, so I thought, that's a bit rude, isn't it? So I went out to say, morning, and there was just no one there. But that heel toe was a very clipped, like old school.
It's more than just building creaks and clicks, isn't it? You have a bit of a rhythm going.
No, that was definitely footsteps.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've heard that quite a few times myself, actually. Yeah. You hear this old creak and you think, okay, that could just be a building creak. But then you hear a click, clop,
you
click,
can hear noises, and you can associate that with a building moving. Even we've got books up here, and there's one book that always ends on the floor, and it's always the same red book, and it's a book of fairy tales. And that one red book just always, and you can hear it thud. And I just say, Fred, I don't have time for this. So.
And where did the name Fred come from?
Frederick Augustus Price was the matriarch of the house, of the head of the Price family, who lived in this house from 1907. So the Gilkinson family built it, finished it in 1889, and then they sold it to the Price family. The story is, from what the research I have found out, is that Fred Price was a very good horse trainer. He trained horses in Lynwood House and around this area. He fell off, his horse shattered his collarbone and his arm, and died in the house upstairs. So, and it's him that is still here, apparently. And apparently a little girl is upstairs as well. I haven't heard a little girl or a little girl noise. I've only really heard heavy men's foot, the smell of cigarette, the jingling of the change, and then the only other time really that I have seen something, and it's probably the worst that sort of freaked me out, was when I saw the shadow of the very tailored pants and the clean shoes on the stairs.
Do you feel like, there are different types of hauntings. There are like intelligent hauntings where you're able to interact with them, and then there are sort of more residual, which could be just like a snapshot of time that's replaying itself. Do you think it's more one or the other?
No, because I think he's interacted with a lot of people here. He's been here for, everyone that's been here for the last 20 years has always said, even the garden centre staff, they're like, he comes in, he moves things in the garden centre. He's a big one for moving and touching candles. He'll just move them and, try and make the flame flicker and stuff. So I honestly think that this is his house, and he just wants to make sure that this house is being looked after. So I made a deal with him, because last time it got really active in October last year, and I didn't understand why. So I made a deal. Y'all stay upstairs, and I'll stay downstairs. Like, that's it. I don't go up, you don't come down. And actually, to be fair, since then, I haven't had a lot of movement.
Do you think he knows there's a business running downstairs? Or do you think he's just living his life
No, I think he's just caught in between. I think this is his home.
Yeah.
He built that house. The Price family were a really wealthy, well-established Invercargill big family. There was 13 children. So I think he's just the overseer of the house. I think he's stuck here and he just doesn't want to leave.
And I suppose at one point this would have all been farmland, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, Waikiwi was actually not even part of Invercargill back in the late 1800s. We were our own wee township out here. So this was the biggest homestead. You know, people want to know about the house.
Yeah.
And of course, once the thing in the newspaper came out, people were interested. Yeah, I mean, it's very twofold, isn't it? You're either going to do a lot of damage saying that the place is haunted for those that don't believe, or you're going to attract people that are curious.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's out there. I don't know. I don't know what's out there, but I just know what I hear and what I see here. And sometimes I just can't explain it.
Yeah. It goes with the history. If it's a family member or if it's something connected to the history of the house, then it sort of adds a whole different
Well, we still
character.
get Frederick Price's grandson come in here. It was him that gave me all the photos that are down the hallway. It was him and his family that has given me all the family history, all those photos that are up there. The last horse that Frederick Price Senior trained before he died is stuck up on the wall, the picture of the horse. So, because that's the family history to this house. I'm just part-time here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just custodian of this house. This is Fred's house.
Yeah.
For sure, we all know that.
It's a nice way of looking at it. Yep, it's great. Yeah, well, it's true. It's right. Whether the house has been sold to somebody else or it's been demolished or whatever, they're still living in there.
Yeah.
So you got to respect.
But
that.
he just has to stay upstairs.
Wonderful. Well, that's awesome.
Don't come downstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like I say, I'm cool with it, but y'all just need to stay up there,
Yeah.
and I'll just stay down here, because when you do get that sort of, I don't know what's happening, I just say to him, Fred, I don't have time for this, darling. I'm too busy, and you know, it just goes.
Yeah.
This is the horse that Frederick Price trained here at Lynwood. That's the most famous horse in Southland, Drift. It's the picture of the Price family taken at his mother's funeral, 1933, outside the front there, outside the bay window. Family wedding. We attended the Price Kingsland wedding, 12th of February 1912. So you can see, like, this is quite a fancy wedding. 1912. Look at the what they're wearing. It was a very wealthy family. So the Prices had 13 children, and the Kingsland had 17 children. So two very big families. This is 1912, 1976. And 2018 when I purchased the building, and then 1931.
Oh, look at that. Brilliant.
And then the last one is the North Road in the 1870s of when they started to build. So down in here, past these big trees here, that would be where Lynwood Homestead is.
Those two people there are...
Yeah, it says on it, Jessie, Jamie and Molly Jones, Gilkinson sisters.
So on that.
family of the people that built this place.
You can see it's also pretty unchanged as well. Like that there would have been that there. Yeah, and so we've just extended it, taken it off that. So the stairs must have come all the way down.